Wait, what? Why'd the fan turn on? Why did the fan turn on? Okay, maybe we can film in here. Less sound from the fan. Hold on. Maybe. Wait. Come on, get in the feed. It's not. Sex is an immutable bridge. And I'll be honest, this was inspired by a Jerry Springer episode. At the end of the day, us, trans people, we're heartbreakers. To ourselves and those around. Through that, we can carve out a beauty that is rather magnificent. But there's always something lingering that leaves us short, or at least different. One could argue that there's a magic to us, one such that those not transgender would be able to offer as they already naturally fit the bill. And I think I'll do this topic in a light poetry this time, as I do best, because this topic is hard to do so mundanely or laconically. I see that the main progressive ideal is to see past the pale of sex and gender and race and division and categorization. But ought we? More importantly, can we? Truly. Dare we? Dare we not? Enough of that. And yes, it's a new day. I spent all day not recording, so... And yes, I'm still in the same outfit, which is pajamas. That's how my quarantine's going. Let me refer back to the Jerry Springer episode, which is from 2009. This is before Laverne Cox got big and before Caitlyn Jenner was known as Caitlyn Jenner. The episode, titled so affably, Transsexual Takedown. Okay. Involved a beautiful and tall Hispanic woman with model-type features whose boyfriend was unaware of her gender history, even after having oral coitus together, and even discussing taking care of his 4 children together. Hold on, I've been eating Papa John's pizza with pineapple and pepperoni and onions on it, and it's getting into my voice, so I'm gonna go rinse my mouth and brush my teeth, because that's what a good woman. Alright, I'm back. The man was, unlike in most similar scenarios on the show, which admittedly often involve a lot of goading, he was very civil and merely very disappointed, concerned, and irate nonetheless. He explained very clearly how he isn't gay, and how he wants a wife and kids, and maybe a child through said wife as well. There seemed to be a fundamental value held in him against dating this woman, whom he otherwise cited multiple times as being extremely beautiful. And she is. The woman revealed that she still has her most male features tucked underneath. She also revealed more directly and visually the plumpness of her breasts to the audience. Remember, it's Jerry Springer. But it's worth emphasizing the crux of it all is the man having felt led on and deceived. Even in saying that he probably would have had respect for her if she told him at the start. Even though she'd only sought for him to know her, as the woman she is and could be for him, and as the potential stepmother to his children. I argued once that there is room in life for heterosexuality to play the role of primary and principal, and I argued this in the context of my own lesbianism, feeling like a simplified version of its own entity when described under said label, lesbianism. By this perspective, one ought to give faith to heterosexuality in that it can provide a family directly of yours and your lovers. But if it is not your path, it is not your path. This basically is a large part of what many people, many lesbians at least, describe as compulsory heterosexuality, also known as comphet. This is what I said, and maybe I'm bisexual, but, I mean, I guess by some standards I could be a lesbian. I mean, most people I'm attracted to are women. It's very selective for me to be attracted to a man, but I suppose, yes, I could be bisexual, you know? It's a label. At the end of the day, it's just a range of sexuality. It's a variant of human sexuality, human attraction. So, but anyway, and I think at times for myself about just what is so untouchable about a nice, respecting man. Need I qualify in times like these, when in the end, bodies all lay on a spectrum of female and male, and gender does too, as do gendered behaviors and dispositions. Nameless of whether all of this is constructed, mind you. And there are most certainly men around who could make it clear to the audience at hand that I have indeed fallen for men enough to pursue sex and a relationship with them. I've written in my memoir how there is a way that a lot of men reasonably enlightened and experienced have that is protective and cherishing that you simply do not see in anywhere nearly as many women, and surely not as much. And yet, I find myself dismissing any space for compat, assuming that there would be any space for it being what I am, and pursuing women much more generally. I suppose I could be defined as bisexual, but would that say it all? And moreover, don't I have a say in delineating what I find important in my sex life? Queerness is fine, but it seems that for some, at least collectively, that sexuality is devoutly fluid and hard problemed. You know? What I mean is, there seems to be this insistence that, or encouragement that people explore beyond their heterosexuality. And for some, it's something they cherish. Not everyone finds trans people goddesses and gods. Some just find us to be like, all right. You know, why can't we get along in the way that serves us best, that we find easiest to? Okay, so honestly, I'm kind of tired of this topic. The truth is, trans women are women. I'm a woman, you know. We're dateable. But I will say, not all trans women are the same. Just like not all women are the same, just like not all men are the same, just like not all people are the same. Not all trans women are the same. Not all trans women are looking to appeal in a certain way that, you know, is conventionally feminine, you know, or some aren't even able to, you know. And that does have consequences to dating. And also, trans women, you know, they can't bear a child. They can't gestate, okay? It's a big part of it. For this man, that was a big part of what he wanted out of a relationship, and he felt duped. Granted, this was 2009 also, so I mean, the perspective was a lot more vehement, you know, but still, it's a valid perspective. Maybe he was a bit more frustrated than needed, you know, and this isn't one where, like, there was violence, thank God, but it's valid to kind of not need that to not want that in your life, to want someone else. It hurts, but you can always exclude. You can always be excluded. Dating is, as another YouTuber put it, discriminatory. At the same time, though, I'm making this video in 2020. And you know what? We've gone over what trans people are. And while some trans people aren't necessarily fitting of the bill for some trans people are. And I think it behooves people to be open-minded about that. Going back to the script, I guess the idea that came to me was that the man had every right to be annoyed and disturbed by this scenario, even though no harm was actually done to him. Sex is an immutable bridge. There is always separation between men and women, even if, as trans people, we clarify just how interconnected male and female are. I imagine that there's an implication among all of this patriarchy fighting that the patriarchy is to blame for the designation of men and women as separate classes of humans, and I think many non-binary people would likely cite themselves as bare evidence of this arbitration, based on not even the endless historical texts to cite, or even the nature of how we designate so-called third genders themselves. But the two-role nature of reproduction, egg and sperm, testes and womb, male and female, suggests something primal in us. And knowing just how profound being transgender is firsthand, I have little reason to deny it. I do tend to feel like a witch for it. I don't see it as a bad thing, though. I'm not simple. And any slight identification I may have with my former parent's sex can totally disqualify me from being a real, quote-unquote, woman. But real is to be beheld, my dear. It's not to be espoused and insisted on. I'm as real as it gets. And that is a lie. Okay, so I actually do go on and say that in a postscript, now on top of that, androgyny is a part of life. Left or right, get with the program. If you have a purity thing as far as it, you'll run into some struggles. Not everyone is androgynous, and not everyone is cis. Doesn't mean that you don't include them in. Clearly, cis people get more of a say in the world than non-cis people just due to frequency of representability. But we shouldn't act like there's never a deal that people may have. Trans women are women and trans men men, but we very often are a different type of woman or man from the default scenario. And that's okay. We can be loved specially or mundanely for who we specifically are. Honestly, I don't think either in the Springer scene was wrong. And granted, it was 2009. Very different implications and concepts back then. I have to make a video about how different human relations are with the information age now in full shape, because certain things one would learn on their own time and turf are now spoon-fed by the dogmatic internet. Dogmatic. I don't know if it's dogmatic, but there are dogmatic people on the internet for sure. There is a dogma around things. I mean, there's a stricture to it. There's a need for people to control what people think and how they interpret, their world. And for everyone to know everything on a basic level about minority groups and about who they're interacting with, to understand everyone at any given time and to act as such. Otherwise, you're being insensitive. I'm not sure if that works for us. But it's in good faith, but I just don't know if it works for us. I don't know if it's practical. Maybe for some, but not for all. Truth is, my perspective always vacillates with this stuff. It comes down to us as elementally mostly the same, but experientially in many ways different. Trans people are not cis people, to speak binarily. But we are people, and variants thereof. The script ends there. I'm not sure if that's a finishing of it, but it is a postscript that I was on at that point. Oh, my papers fell. See that? I had a friend who, was in my acting class, and I kind of fancied him a bit, and I half admitted it to myself, and he rejected me, and I think it had to do with me being trans. And the thing is, while it was hurtful, I don't fully blame him for it, because it's just, some people don't want that complexity in their life. And I don't think it makes them a bad person, This is a very old-timey, in comparison to now, an old-timey perspective, because we're like, if you can't respect me, then you don't deserve respect, well, yes, but like, if you can't appreciate me for the divine magic that I am, then you don't deserve me, as though you're some sort of wonderkind unicorn or something. It's like, it's okay if you're not into me, And you know what? I wasn't impeccably female, Like, my voice was still an issue and all that stuff, So some people aren't into that. Being trans is a physically manifestable and a physically manifesting quality of me. It's evident in my body. Not all the time, but in ways it is. It's there. And it's there in who I am as a person, personality-wise. So, go figure that some people might not be into me specifically because I'm trans. Because it has consequences as far as who I am and who they would date. And you know what? That's humility. I have to be humble about it. I can't be like, oh, he don't want me. He don't want me. He ain't get me. I don't need to be like that. I don't know why I went to black woman voice, but I can do it. I'm black. So, is it racist to do impressions? Watch my video, Phobic versus Critical. I think we're all human, and that involves commonness as much as it does division, you know? And I think people are trying to change that so the division doesn't exist. But it's not how things go. It's not nature. It's not natural. Which, like, yeah, you know? And yeah, people should encourage open-mindedness, but, like, it should be okay to have your own standards and, you know, things that are just for you, you know? Or not for you. It's okay to be like that. It's subjective, but that's okay. And on that note, it's okay that I am trans. It's okay. It's part of my story. It's a beautiful story. It's a tragic story. And it's a triumphant story, all wrapped in one. So I'm good with that. And if it's part of my body, you know, it's okay that it is. And if someone appreciates that, as Monroe Bergdorf said last week, if someone appreciates the sacredness of that, then power to them. And power to me for finding someone like that. You know, hopefully there are more of them in times like these, you know, with activism helping. But there can always be room for people who just won't roll with it. That is fine. Be honest with people. Let them know who you are. Otherwise, you'll run into some trouble, like that girl did. Though I'll add also that disclosure isn't inherently necessary. Like, it's just know what someone wants and try to get a feel for that. I don't know. It's not that simple. Plenty of trans people have been attacked, harassed, had their lives destroyed because, like, stuff like that. Society is difficult. You have to find a way. Real talk, though, how can I call myself a lesbian? Like, there are guys I like. See? It's that easy. Just do what you want. Who cares about the label? Like, share, comment, subscribe. My Instagram is @ShyExtroversion.